To pour an SDS gel, assemble the apparatus. You will have a short plate and a long plate. Those two are paired up so that there is a gap between them. You assemble the plates into a clinch apparatus. Put the plates bottom side down on a gasket. Next, determine if you have a good seal by adding water to the plates. Check for leaks. To make the gel, follow the recipe given to you by your TA. Start by pipetting your water, followed by the buffer, the acrylamide, the SDS, the APS, and then the TMED. Immediately following the addition of TMED, pipette the solution in between the plates and allow to solidify. Do not pipette the solution to the top. Leave room for the stacking gel. Once the resolving gel has solidified, begin to prepare the stacking gel. Use the recipe given to you by your TA and use the same order of addition that you used for the resolving gel. Immediately following the addition of TMED, pipette the stacking gel on top of the resolving gel. Add the combs. These combs will form your wells. Prepare your protein samples for the SDS page by adding a calculated amount of SDS sample dye. The dye can be orange and it does stink because it has beta-mercaptoethanol. Upon addition of the orange solution to your buffer, it will turn blue. Normally SDS sample dye is blue. Don't panic if you see the orange. Heat your samples at 95 degrees for 10 minutes. Next, we need to assemble the SDS page running apparatus. Begin by removing your plate that you just poured and finding a clamp. If you are running a single plate, find a dummy plate. The dummy plate has ledges as well as the gasket on the clamp. The ledges on the dummy plate and the ledges on your poured plate must meet the ledge on the gasket of the clamp. Close the clamps. To run our samples, we must first fill the reservoir with 1x SDS running buffer. Next, add our clamp assembly with black on black, in other words, black electrode on black electrode, and red on red. Next, fill the middle of the clamp with 1x running buffer. Fill it so that the running buffer pours out over the top of the apparatus. Next, remove the comb. Pipette approximately 10 microliters of your sample into individual wells formed by the cone. Pipetting your sample will take patience and extreme care. Last, add your ladder. Assemble the lid to the apparatus so that black is on black and red is on red. Turn on the power pack according to your TA's preferences. Once the dye has reached the bottom of the gel, turn off the apparatus, remove the lid, pour the buffer in down the drain, and extract your gel. Notice the blue band is at the bottom of the gel. To stain the gel, begin by pouring Kamasi stain into a plastic container. Using a wedge, pry the short plate from the long plate. Cut the edges of the gel away from the long plate, flip the plate over and allow gravity to pull the gel off the plate into the Kamasi stain. Microwave the container for 30 seconds. Do not put the lid on too tight or there will be an explosion in the microwave. Remove the gel from the microwave and pour the Kamasi stain back into the jar it came from. We can reuse this stain multiple times. Wash your gel and the container in the sink using tap water. Next, add D-stain to the gel. Store the gel at room temperature with shaking overnight.